Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, English by the Gargantuan. In today's video, we are going to be looking at Accompaniment Concord, which is one of the types of concord we have in the English language. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I beg you in God's name, subscribe to it now. After subscribing, make sure you turn on the notification icon so that anytime we post a new video, you will be notified. Also, like and share this video. Make sure you like and share this video so that others can see it and learn from it. Let us have a short break for now. When we return, we are going to jump right in. You are welcome back. Remember, in this video, we are looking at Accompaniment Concord, which is one of the types of concord we have in the English language. But what is concord? In case you didn't know, concord is an agreement between a subject and a verb. An agreement between a subject and a verb is what we call concord. Concord has a general rule. There is a general rule for concord. The general rule of concord states that if the subject is singular, the verb should also be singular. But if the subject is plural, the verb should also be plural. This is the general rule of concord. A singular subject takes a singular verb, but a plural subject carries a plural verb. In case you didn't know, a subject is said to be singular if it refers to one, whereas a subject is said to be plural if it refers to more than one. On the other hand, a verb is said to be singular if it ends with s, es, or ies. But if a verb does not end with s, es, or ies, it becomes a plural verb. So that we can have he. You see, this is a singular subject because it refers to one. Goes. So it takes a singular verb, a verb that ends with es. He goes. I cannot say he go. I have to say he goes. But if I have they, you will find out that they is a plural subject because it refers to more than one. So it will carry a plural verb so that I can say they go, a plural verb. I cannot say they goes. I have to say they go. I cannot say he go. I have to say he goes. There are two exceptions to the general rule of concord. And the two exceptions are I and you. These are the two exceptions to the general rule of concord. I and you, that is, if you refers to one, are singular in nature, but they always carry plural verbs. They always carry plural verbs. They are singular in nature, but they carry plural verbs. That is why they are exceptions to the general rule of concord. I cannot say I goes, even though I is singular. This is wrong. I can only say I go. I cannot say you goes, even though this refers to one here. So this is wrong. I can only say you go. The only way this pronoun, this personal pronoun I, can take a singular verb, the only way it obeys, I am talking about this personal pronoun I, the only way it obeys the general rule of concord is if you use it with was. because you can say I was, I was. This is the only time the personal pronoun I obeys the general rule of Concord. Apart from was, I and you always disobey the general rule of Concord. Although they are singular in nature, yet they take plural verbs. Plural verbs, verbs that do not end with s, es, or ies. I believe this is understood. Concord has various types. There are different types of Concord. In case you didn't know, each type of Concord has a way you identify it and a way you answer questions correctly there. I say it again. Each type of Concord has a way you identify it. It has a way you recognize it. And it also has a way you answer questions correctly there. In this video, we are concentrating on Accompaniment Concord. Accompaniment Concord, which is one of the types of Concord in English. If a question contains a subject, a question contains a subject, a question carries a subject, and the subject is accompanied by a prepositional phrase, by a prepositional phrase, by a prepositional phrase that begins with or starts with as well as, with, together with, no less than, in conjunction with, in conjunction with, alongside. Remember, you don't say alongside with, you say alongside. Alongside doesn't carry a preposition. So it is wrong to say she came to my party alongside with her brother. Instead, you should say she came to my party alongside her brother. Okay, I said if a question carries a subject and the subject is accompanied by a prepositional phrase that begins with as well as, with, together with, no less than, in conjunction with, alongside, in collaboration with, etc., then that question is an accompaniment Concord question. That question is an accompaniment Concord question. If you come across such a question, take your mind to Accompaniment Concord because that is what the question is related to. For you to know that an English question is an Accompaniment Concord question, the question will carry a subject. The question will contain a subject. The subject will be accompanied by a prepositional phrase, and the prepositional phrase will begin with or start with one of these things. Any question of this nature is an accompaniment Concord question. I believe that is understood. If you are faced with a question under Accompaniment Concord, how should you answer the question correctly? How should you tackle the question? Let me help you. Under Accompaniment Concord, the prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject. The prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject. It is only accompanying the subject. It is not a part of the subject, and it should not take part in determining the verb that should enter the gap in the question. The verb that should enter the gap in the question only agrees in number with the subject. The prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject and should not join the subject in determining the verb. It should not take part in determining the verb. The verb only agrees in number with the subject. It means that if the subject is singular, that is, if it refers to one, the verb to enter the gap in the question should also be singular. In other words, the verb should end with s, es, or ies. But if the subject is plural, that is, if it refers to more than one, then the verb that should enter the gap in the question should also be plural. In other words, the verb that should enter the gap in the question should not end with s, es, or ies. That is everything you need to know concerning accompaniment concord. Remember, for it to be an accompaniment concord question, the question will contain a subject. The subject will be accompanied by a prepositional phrase, and the prepositional phrase will begin with or start with one of these things. Let us at this point look at few examination questions under accompaniment concord with a view to making you guys understand much or a lot better. Question 1. It reads, the man as well as his wife and 11 children dash arrived. Option A, have, and option B, has. If you look at this question, you will find out that there is a subject, and the subject is the man. The man. This subject is accompanied by a prepositional phrase, and the prepositional phrase is as well as his wife and 11 children. The prepositional phrase begins with as well as. Look at it again. There is a subject, the man. The subject is accompanied by a prepositional phrase, which is as well as his wife and 11 children. And the prepositional phrase begins with or starts with as well as. For that reason, this question is under accompaniment concord. This question is related to accompaniment concord. So we have to take our minds to accompaniment concord, because that is what this question is related to. Under accompaniment concord, we said that the prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject. That is why I am cancelling it. The prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject. It is just accompanying the subject. It is not a part of the subject, and it does not take part in determining the verb to enter this gap in the question. The verb to enter this gap in the question only agrees with the subject. So if the subject is singular, the verb here should be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb here should be plural. That is accompaniment concord for you. The subject is the man. They did not say the men. They said the man. It refers to one. It refers to one man, one. So the subject is singular. Therefore, the verb here should also be singular. And a singular verb is a verb that ends with s, es, or ies. So between have and has, we are going to choose has, so that we have the man as well as his wife and 11 children has arrived. If you look at the options, you will find out that the only correct option is option B, has. To show that we are correct, I want to rephrase the sentence. The sentence is the man as well as his wife and 11 children has arrived. If I rephrase it, I will have the man has arrived as well as his wife and 11 children. That shows our answer is correct. Question 2, it reads, the poor together with the widows dash our support. Option A, need, and option B, needs. If you look at the question, you will find out that there is a subject. The subject is the poor. The poor. This subject is accompanied by a prepositional phrase, and the prepositional phrase is together with the widows. Together with the widows. Together with the widows. And the prepositional phrase begins with together with. You have a subject accompanied by a prepositional phrase, and the prepositional phrase is together with the widows. The prepositional phrase begins with or starts with together with. So this is Accompaniment Concord. It is an Accompaniment Concord question. Since it is an Accompaniment Concord question, the prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject. The prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject and does not take part in determining the verb. The prepositional phrase is not a part of the subject. It is only accompanying the subject. So it shouldn't take part in determining the verb that should enter this gap in the question. The verb that should enter this gap in this question only agrees in number with the subject, which in this case is the poor. If this subject is singular, the verb here should be singular. But if this subject is plural, the verb here should be plural. The subject is the poor. If the subject were the poor boy, it would refer to one. It would be singular. Also, if the subject were the poor girl, the poor lady, the poor man, it would be singular. It would refer to one. It would be singular. But the subject here is the poor. In case you didn't know, the poor refers to all persons that are poor, a category of persons that are poor. So the poor does not refer to one. It refers to more than one, a category of persons that are poor. In other words, the poor is a plural subject here. The poor is a plural subject because it refers to all persons that are poor. So the verb here should also be plural. And a plural verb does not end with s, es, or ies. So between need and needs, we are going to put need here, a plural verb, so that we have the poor together with the widows need our support. And if you look at the options, you will find out that the only correct option is option A, need. To show that we are correct, let me rephrase the sentence. The sentence is, the poor together with the widows need our support. If I rephrase it, I will have the poor need our support together with the widows. And that shows that our answer is correct. I believe that is understood. I will leave you guys to answer question number 3 for me. Answer question number 3 for me and show me your answer in the comment section. I will be in the comment section to see all your answers, and I will tell you guys whether you are correct or not. This is where we are going to end the class. I believe you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, then like and share the video so that others can see it and learn from it. I will see you guys in our next class. Bye.